Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Welcome back to another day when the app inside my phone says partly cloudy, which means it's been raining for like 14 straight hours. Superbe. Anyway, then what that makes me do is I come out here and I start to tinker, and I figure as I get into the tinkering process, a video will rise up out of that, and then the Pandora station that I'm on, Upbeats Radio, keeps playing the Chase and Status, their most recent release, Too Rough Volume 1, which is just bangers. It's just non-stop from beginning to end, and it plays another song and I'm like, yeah, and it plays another song and I'm like, yeah, and then the next thing you know, I don't know, 2 hours have passed, I can't stop, and then I'm like, dude, we're supposed to be doing It Came From the Workbench Volume 32 episode. I called the last one 1.5 because it was kind of like 1 and it was kind of like 2, so it was in the middle. Should we just jump to 3? I guess we'll jump to 3 because the goal here is to get at least to a slider. Like get the pieces put on the Zoku, and this is where I caught myself. I was like, dude, you need to dial it back. We're, of course, going to the Flash Hobby 1227s for Overdrive and Dig. I got the steering servo mounted up, as enough people in the comments were basically like, it's fine. That's how I've been running it. You don't need anything else with it. Good. Switched in the titanium front link. I think I've probably cobbled a link together that's pretty close out of a big Lunsford M4 titanium. I don't know if that'll be the final link. We are going to do the initial setup on the monster horn, which lessens torque a little bit, but increases speed. And then you can see it's all about the triangle. It's about the leverage. So look how little we've got maybe 60 degrees of sweep. So the speed from full lock here to full lock here is probably going to be alarming, but we will find out. This axle is also now remarkably heavy. I went through the arduous mind grind process of installing the rod ends onto the very slippery Incision titanium links, and then I had to dig through the bins, and the closest I could come is on some other vehicle I had made 2 links. Here is obviously the kit comes set up for 3 link with, here is Panhard and drag link. So in the future, some build is going to get front uppers or rear uppers that are titanium just for no reason. Here is the one that it comes with. Here are the ones that I made. It is 3mm shorter. And 3mm shorter is going to be a lot more effective than 3mm longer. So I have not put the ends on them yet because I don't know where that length is going to fall. We only have a couple holes to work with. So we will see what we end up with. So the only thing I have done to the rails is I have installed the front, the motor mount purchase, and I installed the front servo because I did not want this to be the, I don't know, 3rd time that I've forgotten to put this servo in, mounted the bracket, got it all bolted together, and then you can't get to those screws. It distinctly says in the instructions, mount that servo now. So I mounted that servo now. I am, of course, disobeying all the rules about don't use power drivers. That's what we do here. So the front upper, okay, so the question mark of the day is they want the front upper in the upper link. The forward hole will be similar to stock caster, where the rearward hole will add more caster. Now, with this bracket here, it pretty much covers the other holes. I'm going to figure out, oh, you know what I can do? Okay, I guess we're gonna go stock caster. We've got to adapt. We've got to adapt on the fly. These are about 3 millimeters shorter. What are we pulling? What are we pulling in? That is 4.3 millimeters. So 4.3 millimeters. I should be able to get this link to the correct length, the two front uppers, because this is going to interfere here. I mean, that's not, this was designed at a time of 3-link front end, and we're putting a 4-link front end on it. So I'm going to go from that hole, and I'm just going to put the screw through the mount, through the link, and then we'll get those put up. The front end on this is going to go together pretty quick because we are, of course, servo and axle. So I'm going to have to dig out some spacers to put the front end together. I will check and see. We will find out if the... I'm opening bag C, and we're not to the bag C step yet. I will see. This should clear. We should have no problem with the... Okay, that's going to go in the Zoku bin. And then I will shamelessly reuse this magnificently designed lay-down servo mount on something else, because that's a lay-down servo mount I don't have to make. This should clear the servo and axle mount. That should be fine. So in terms of parts that we will be replacing, it's going to be very small. Oh yeah, here you go. Here's a little something for you. I am this guy. I detest putting things like this together. So I've been trying. This is an AMK. I know they're out from other brands. I mean, you can see what you can basically tell what it is. It is what I have been using to assemble all of these links, and this thing is a sweet hot $10 on Amazon. And it's got a big opening and a small opening. And I really, frankly, I don't understand the big opening. I mean, I guess if you've got like maybe rod ends for like a craton or some huge eighths, get like some kind of truggy or something. So we use the little narrow one right here. And this, I wanted to have a rod end without a ball in it because they get the wanderlust. So you get it started. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. We get it started. Then we grab it with our shock pliers, because I use shock pliers for everything. Drive it down to about where we run out of thread. It's great. Now, if we take one, I don't have one with a ball in it. I'm gonna have to stick a ball. I'm gonna have to stick a ball in one. We'll go with a 7. So pop a ball in this. Now, if they have the ball installed, it's gold, because it really holds it more nicely. So I'm used to having to pop the ball out because I would just chuck the rod ends into a drill, the drill that's in my hand. This is a far better solution. It does go together pretty nice. It's worth the $10 because I have used it. Also, disassembling rods is great. So we won't know if this length is right. It seems highly unlikely to me that we're going to get this on the first shot. Well, that's really close. So okay. Let's get this. Let's see. Let us put this on. Okay. We're going to need about let's go with like an 18 or so. That looks like about an 18. Does that look like an 18? That looks like an 18. Could be a 20. Could be an 18. Could be a 20. There's a commitment here. Okay, tighten that boy down. That looks pretty good. Okay, no, it's not. It's way too long. I just want enough room to get an M3 nut on there. Also, no, it looks like it's all right. Might want to go to a 7.5 rod end because that's pretty close. No, you know what? I think it's going to be fine. This is how we do. We are adapting to fit. And whatever this is, you need about 4 millimeters shorter than that. The only concern here, pardon me, being that this particular link mounted 4.3 millimeters further forward than mentioned, is gonna put my pinion in a bad angle. Now, if it's a little overly long, it's honestly kind of okay, because that will too long is going to tilt the. So too long will go like this, which will take some caster away, but too short will point the pinion down at the ground. I don't want to put the pinion down at the ground. So we will find out together. That is not the prettiest screw I've ever seen. Need to get this. Okay, and we're in the forward hole again. My length eye is way off today, and it's probably because my intention was to. I don't think this was my intention. I'm pretty sure I have everything to start drilling holes and putting down another 9-ball course. Course 3, the green course. Everything is painted. I painted the bases with John Deere, the John Deere green, the farm and implement paint. And it actually dried a lot faster than when I used it on Jolly Green. So I don't know, maybe the wood was soaking some of that up. But that went together. That went together great. I have all the balls drilled. We've got. It's ready to go. I got my fantastic Milwaukee bit to drill some holes, and it won't stop raining. Maybe this afternoon, if it turns nice on me and clears up a little bit, I can get out there and get some. I've also started putting markers out in the slot canyons. We got slot markers going in because a buddy of mine was like, it doesn't look, I don't know where to go. It's overwhelming and confusing. So I was like, oh, well, fine. So I started doing some cutting on the Cricut and got a part that I am pretty happy with. It's coming back to me. I'm starting to remember how this all goes together. And as I said, if we can slide it, that was very tight right there. We will be quite happy. I maintain my position in regard to 3D printed parts for RC cars, with the massive exception of Zoku parts. The fitment of the parts and the fact that he pre-taps, like all of the holes that are designed to have something threaded in them are all pre-tapped. These were just super, like, look how clean. Like, you don't see this in any other 3D prints, at least none that I've seen. The Spare Time Hobbies ones are quite good. I'm not hacking on anyone in particular. I'm just saying that the Zoku ones are phenomenal, and that's good. This is always fun. Luckily, in the previous installment, we built the gearbox and put the skid on. Everything is so tight. We want to get it to right where we're to the point where we can attach the links. Honestly, I can't imagine doing this by hand. I'm sure there are people out there that do nothing but work by hand. I am not that guy. Come on. I want you to. Whew. See, you know what I'm talking about right now? I'm talking about something that I can appreciate. I have mentioned it in the past. I'm sure if you've been here before, you've heard me say it. We in the industry, and we use industry half tongue-in-cheek, we in the industry call it woodworkering. And woodworking is, you have an opening that something needs to be installed in. I experienced this while building the big entertainment center that's in my living room, which is you get all your measurements, and you're very good about it. And say a measurement is, in the Freedom units, say a measurement is 8 feet. It's 96 inches across. A sane person, or a person who thinks ahead, would make it to like 95 3/4. Because a 1/4 inch of space is only going to be 1/8 of an inch. 3 millimeters of space on either side. But that's not how a woodworker would do it. A woodworker would cut it and make the thing exactly 96 inches wide, so that you have to install it with a mallet. Also, drywall, sheetrock, gypsum, it might be 8 feet here. It might be 8 feet here, but it might not be 8 feet here. And down here, it might be 95 1/4. So you're really building in place. This classifies as that. It was built in place. So not only would it not fit anywhere else, because as I've mentioned, the building isn't flat. This building's not flat. This is leveled. I leveled this, but this isn't leveled to this. And you can see it if you've never noticed it before. Look at the amount of gap. What can I use as a... All right, here we go. So a canyon trail is well up over there, but a canyon trail will slide under here because that's the angle of the building. This building slopes about 2.5 inches from back to front. Well, yeah, this is the back, because the door is over there. So from back to front. So we have to well and truly woodworker everything into place. Otherwise, nothing is going to fit. All right, now we're going to slap the other side on and then skip part of a step because we don't need to attach the steering mount. I am most curious as to what the weight of this boy is going to come out to. And I mean that prior to the installation of the CJ7, which I've got some ideas and I've got some thoughts and I've got some plans. We are going to make every effort to shave a little bit of weight off of the Axial CJ7, because when we get to that, I am sure that it will be fresh in my mind. And I will mention the little things that kill. You know what? I'll mention one now in case we forget later. It has 2 seats, and I realize, yes, there's a CJ7 right over there out of the corner of my eye. Pardon me. Here's the issue. Oh, I'll just grab the body and bring it over. So, the seats are 1, 2, 3. They are 3 pieces. This is all solid plastic. This is solid plastic. The base is solid plastic. It's all put together with M3 screws. The seat weighs more than the guy that's sitting in it. Like, when you pick this body up, it's almost astonishing how heavy it is. And, I mean, it should be rough and tough and hurly and burly. Like, look at the thickness. The front grille has got to be 10 millimeters thick, with an inexplicably molded radiator fan on the inside that we're not going to see. And then it's plastic, bolted to plastic. And, I mean, just look at the number of screws that attach to... No, that's for the lights. They made no effort to save any weight on this. And I am going to make a concerted effort to save weight. Oh, the doors as well. The doors are a little relieved on the inside, but they are, for the most part, just a solid nylon door. So they are right here under the corner of my eye as well. When you buy the body, you get these little guys, which are door deletes. So he's getting my this one is getting the doors deleted. Partly because there's a giant Axial logo molded into the door. and partly because if I can get away with it and not deal with the weight, then I'm going to do that. Oh, man. We're having an issue. Some behind the scenes. My hands went out of frame there at the precise right moment, right as the compressor kicked on, because I've been blowing the 3D print dust out of the way. It is genuinely, to me, even now, having done more than one set of these, astonishing how light these titanium links are. Particularly as the Vanquish stainless are big, hurly-burly boys. These are so light. So light. Particularly the... Where is he? He's around here somewhere. The tie rod. The weight difference with the titanium tie rod versus the tie rod that comes with the RTR and the kit. Doesn't look right. But it is. Huh. Yeah, that's right there. That's right there. Don't use power drivers. I break the rule every single time I build one. And I still contend that he put that in the instructions because of me, because I power drive everything. That's better. Yeah, it's bitter. I go in? Yeah. It's like, all right. So we've got all four front. We've got the rear lowers. We need to be, the next step is install the servo mount. We don't need to do that. Install the VP panhard mount. We don't need to do that. Install the rear dig servo mount. Yes. That we do need to do. What a great little, I'm desperately afraid to use the compressor because I was using it a bunch and I don't want it to click on again because it is oiled, so it's not the loudest thing in the world, but it's certainly not the quietest thing in the world either. This goes top hole. And I stand by, I don't have experience with the Artful Dodgers for Phoenix. The only Artful Dodgers we built here is the Ground Fox for Element. But in terms of bolt-on kit, I can't see. In terms of bolt-on kit, the Zoku is top of the heap for me. And he's doing cabin now, if you're into the cabin. And, I mean, I was expecting a bigger markup, carbon relative to aluminum. I think he's charging $45 extra for carbon. If anyone is wondering my opinion, carbon versus aluminum, for a pair of rails, in this instance, in the instance of Vanquish, like, because this is an LCG conversion kit for a Phoenix, the weight savings it's not from flat rail. It's from the bits and the bobs. That giant molded plastic piece back here, the giant molded plastic piece in the front, all that stuff is gone. That's where the weight of a VS410 comes from. So the actual C channel, these will be a little bit lighter than a C channel, and the carbon will be a little bit lighter than these. Now, if you happen to be a TRX4 owner, that, my friends, is a whole different thing. Because, say, Daphne the Sport, for instance, who are on that, because, for those unaware, the TRX4 chassis has a ton, and I can use that as a unit of distance here, has a ton of pinch to it. And by pinch, I mean how wide is the center here. You can see the little bit of pinch here now that I'm getting the ends put on, and it is minimal. Between here and here, we're talking, I don't know, I don't want to throw down a number, 6 millimeters, 7 millimeters, something like that. It's not a lot. The TRX4 has a lot. The center on a TRX4 chassis is about, it's a lot. There's a TRX4 right here, man. So this isn't a TRX4 rear bumper mount, and we're just hanging out in space, but the width of the TRX4 chassis compared to the width of that, it's like, I want to say it's 8 or 10 millimeters wider. So the the economical chassis for these, and this is the Endura specifically made for TRX4. This one is economical as well. But the really economical ones, which are just replacements for the stock rails, what Daphne has, if you just take the stock rails off, bolt those, they're built in 3-piece, so they have a rear, a center piece, and then there's little spacers to space out the width, because that big thick carbon doesn't like this curve. This is thinner carbon, so it's fine. We're saving a lot of weight. It won't be as hurly or burly as the one that Daphne is on. If you take the stock C-channel rails and you replace it with those carbon fiber rails, you lose half a pound. 8 ounces comes off of that vehicle. Pulling 8 ounces of sprung weight for, like, I can't remember off the top of my head what that thing costs, but it's not expensive. Say in the $30 range. Pulling that kind of weight for $30, yeah, absolutely. So, by the same token, Zoku's only asking a $45 premium to go from alloy to carbon. So you got to ask yourself, do you want it? I mean, what are the advantages, you might say? Well, our ability to control sprung weight is important. And I feel like I've beaten this drum made of dead horses many times, and that is, every gram you take off up here is a gram you don't have to add down here. This thing is being built this way because my buddy likes the finer things in life. Treat yourself. So he went all in. These came with the Trucks of Fortune, and then he bought all of the bits and bobs to go along with it, right? Now, we need that because the initial plan of this was to put a hard body on it. And I tried. I truly did. And I couldn't make myself do it. I couldn't slap on that amount of weight. So I said, let's go in the middle. The CJ7 is brutally heavy by Lexan body standards because it's got a lot of stuff going on. Full scale details. You name it, is got it. So, 1.5 pounds-ish is where it's sitting compared to a full built-out hard body, easily 3-4 pounds. I couldn't bring myself, I tried, but I could not bring myself to take a Zoku Phoenix with a boatload of upgrades on it and be like, yep, let's slap a 4-pound body on it. So we compromised. We slapped a 1.5-pound body on it, or are going to slap a 1.5-pound body on it. I have no idea how much customization it's going to take to get that body to fit. The center of the chassis of the 10.3 for the CJ7 build is very flat, very low and flat. And, you know, I mean, I guess, yes, it occurs to me now. No. We're gonna wait until there's an axle under it. Install upper links. I did that mindlessly. That is the default starting hole that he has to go with. Step 9, install axles, and in true purveyor of chaos, Install axles using factory hardware and locations. And honestly, that kind of advice, that's right up there with, what is it? Assembly is the reverse operation of disassembly, or vice versa. Basically, whatever you use to take it apart, do the opposite of that to put it back together. So there's no hand holding. This is all on us. Okay, I am going to have to source a fairly specific length screw for that upper. So like all the screws for the front end of this are 18s, and apparently I do, well, not apparently, but well and truly, I do not have a surplus of 18s. Boy, do I got a lot of 20s. I don't mean a little. I mean a concerning amount of 20s. I think before I finally got enough 18s to, I hope, attach this front axle, I probably pulled 8 or 9 20mm screws out of the bin. And when dealing with stuff like this, the millimeters are all the difference. There's spots where where if it calls for an 18, you don't want to put a 20 there. I like to do upper link. Is it gone? No. I like to do upper link first because it allows me to, we'll do this, basically turn the axle over. And then we will, fingers crossed. That, honestly, that side needs to be like a 13. So far as I know, that's not a thing. This side, oh man. I hunted and hunted for those 14s and 18s, and now I'm just throwing them on the ground. Okay, was this right? Nope. That's the shock mount. Shock mounts are 18s. Lower mounts are 16s. Thankfully, 16s are a lot easier to find. As I said, when putting those uppers in, my length guesstimator is really off today, and I keep picking up stuff that's 2 to 3 millimeters too long. This was no exception. Oh, could you? We are at an interesting point here, which is I assembled the shocks this morning as well. Got that out of the way. Uh-oh. Yikes. Is something amiss? Is something awry? I don't know. Is there going to be a tinkering? Let me see. What's that pinion angle look like? Yeah, they're too long. Look at the... well, are they? That's a ton of caster up front. Maybe they're not too long. I'm looking at the drive shaft, the alignment of the drive shaft. I don't think I can show it. If anything, they are about the length too long that we would assume that they would be. About 1.5 millimeters too long at the most, which should be correctable. Question mark, fingers crossed. I'm gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it like that because we have bigger question marks, which are, I thought my buddy had ordered ultra shorts, but he just ordered shorts. So these are 95-ish, and I run 85-ish on my Phoenicians. We're gonna find out. We're gonna put them together on this because we can't have a rockin' slider. Wait, if I throw tires on it, it's a roller, right? We might have a roller. No, I don't have anything mounted. We're gonna have a slider. we're gonna get to slider, and we're gonna see what the geo looks like, and nothing here is anywhere near being finalized. Is that the sun? I think a little a tiny sun through yon window breaks. Okay, this I triple checked this. Yeah, defo an 18. Now I should have a whole bag of 16s to attach the shock tops. I don't know. Nope, maybe it is 18s. I do have a bunch of 18. Let's see if it's an 18. Before we go a hunting. Why? Okay. Why is that? What is it? It's a binding on the axle? Yeah, it is. It won't be for long. That's odd. Is that odd? Is that not odd? I don't know. It's the same rod end at both ends, so mounting it right side up versus upside down isn't going to change anything. I'm more curious to see what this thing sits like on 95s. So we are definitely going rearmost hole, and yes, these are definitely 18s. A lot of 18s. Get the front end bolted in so it's not slopping around. And I did double check. We don't bother to show everything, but I did double check to make sure that the front uppers are indeed the same length. So we shouldn't have any axillar weirdness. We hope. Would we be able to get this thing, put a little power to it, maybe see if we can get the servo dialed up? I don't know. We're starting to feel too optimistic. Maybe some of those sunbeams hit me and they're filling me with positive thoughts. That's not a familiar location. If we can get axles under it and we can get it sitting, we'll call that a win. We'll consider that something. I hear birds. And the birds are all like, "Bro, it stopped. It finally stopped. We can go out and eat some stuff." And some of those both the same way. Oh no, you know what? 95s, that looks fine. So ride height should be right about there. So we still have a couple millimeters of up travel, but boy howdy, we're gonna get some travel on this boy. I do have to must remind myself, don't leave that. Servo will be like, it's never been powered up. It'll be like 180 degrees out of rotation. Hit it with power the first time with this attachment, just goes wow. And these things all produce enough torque that it's gonna take something with it. Now, I think I used the 18s that I had sorted. What is that? I think I found a leftover bit from when I'm assuming these were like media blasted. There's a little... How am I going to get that little... It's like ceramic. Okay, not threaded on the outside. So basically we need to push it out this way. Ooh. There we go. Little fella. Yeah, little fella. I now have to dig the bin again and find a bunch more. Oh, that's flyweight. It barely weighs anything. I've got to find, first of all, a big old screw to go through here, and accept a nut, and then I got to find, I think these are 18s. Yep, I got to find another one of those, and then I got to find, I think 16. I got to find a bunch of screws. Trust me when I tell you, I would love to say that as time went on, it got easier to find 18 millimeter long screws, but it absolutely did not. The bin is overflowing with 16s and 20s and very few 18s. And I have to assume that that is because what we're doing right here is very similar to the build process that went in place for Eddie. And Eddie is assembled with all stainless as well. And I think Eddie used up most all of the 18s. Oh, this is not light. This is this is not light. Okay, is this 16 or this is the 16s? I think I located the screws that I need. We're gonna find out. We're also gonna find out if that link position. It looks right from here. It looks right. Someone has got to do something. Somebody's got to convince Vanquish that we need aluminum. It's the only plastic bit. I think as far as I'm concerned, it's fine. But I mean, I get it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I got that. See that angle. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Look at that. It's basically parallel with the links. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's try this one. Hey, there we go. Let's get a shock thrown on there. 18 lowers, 18 uppers. 18 millimeters all around. No. No. Yes. 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 Spacer and an 18. And this is why I say that this kit is the biz. We'll just loose. We'll finger tighten a nut on there. I want to get the droopage about the same on both sides. That would be the ultimate goal. But again, it's not critical. This is I mean, we've landed on it before. We've accidentally hit the right target. We've fired blindly and struck the target we were looking for. It's so weird how tight those are on the front, but not in the back. Where was I going? Oh yeah, in that we just eyeball a shock position, and that ends up being the shock position. Let's see where this... Let's put a spacer on it, shall we? Yes. Okay, that could actually get away with a 20. So we may actually just end up changing that screw out anyway. I hope I mounted that servo facing the correct direction for the dig. I was looking at it upside down, and I get a lot of problems. I get into trouble when I just try to mount something upside down. All right. Very, very similar there. This is going to be a dangerously long travel, boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's put 20s in it. And then it's very easy for me to say because I saved some of those. I had to have pulled 2 dozen M3x20s out during that process. Is that a 6? No, that's an 18. It's an 18. So 20 should be perfect. And it is. Okay, so we're going to go that hole. And do we have hexes? We do have hexes. Do I have a set of... I do. I'm looking at them right there. Slider, yeah. We'll go full roller. I have just out of frame here drive shafts. I bought a pair of the what are becoming my new favorite, the Amazon cut to lengths, $25. And we have a real silver theme going here. Lean into that silver theme. I don't like the black ones. I've done the black cut to length drive shafts a couple times, and they have some sort of feels like a powder coat. Not 100% sure what it is. I just know that when I grind them to length on the disc sander, oh, it smells like cancer. So I prefer the stainless ones. Also, when the stainless ones get scratched up, you can't even tell. But when the black ones get scratched up, well, they look really scratched up. That's a lot of metal. There's a lot of metal there. Ooh. This is going to be, well, let us, find wheel nuts. Wait, let's just, I don't have a bag set aside for any of this or anything. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got this guy. Oh, that's what those screws are for, right? You know what? We will go ahead and we will slap some screws in there just so that we have something holding it together. I don't want the front end bonking around too much. We may indeed. I mean, the ghost ride protocol for this is going to be a complicated one because that body is a complicated one. It comes in like 5 bags. Luckily, I have the RTR arrived, so I both have an instruction book and I have an example to look at to know what I'm building. It looks, yeah, it looks like we'll have no problem with the front bumper mount. Okay. Yeah, it's nothing comes close to anything there in the front. That is, it's, you know what? It's almost a shame, and I love brass, but it is almost a shame about those brass knuckle weights. This thing is, well, I guess we'll call it the pop of color because we've got the nitrided shock shafts matching in as well. I was going to say that if we cover up that servo horn, this is just black and silver. We have no we have no interferences here. The servo colors match. Everything's just black and silver. We've got the usual nonsense that we have to go through. What am I looking for? There. To get this thing... Nope, that's not it. The usual nonsense to get this thing put together. We've got to center servos. I want to get it to basically runnable before I even try fitting the body or assembling the body to fit the body. I have a fully formed notion in my head of what the body is going to look like. I have the wheels ready. We're going with Swamp Claw because the Swamp Claws are on wheels that I know will fit, and we're just leaning into it. Black and silver. Black wheels, black tires, silver wheels. This will also give us an idea. These are just conventional 105 clones. So this will give us an idea of what we're going to be looking at for track width. It'll see where we came out on wheelbase. We should be dead 313. I can't imagine we'd be anything other than 313. That's so much caster, but if we drop that down, we'll get even more. I may have to make new front uppers or just dig the bin and find something 6, 8, 10 millimeters shorter. And we'll have to, and by we, I mean us, and by us, I mean me. I'll have to do it the most fun way possible, which is, I'm lazy. So I don't want to disassemble. You know what? We're going to slap this on just to stop the wobbling. There's no chance of it accidentally powering up on us. I don't want to take stuff off to get to those. So I will clamp the driver onto the thing, thread it out, use it to thread the new ones in. So we will build them in place, which is determinedly suboptimal. It's kind of not how you want to go about it. Oh yeah, that sits. That is dead level. These are deluxe softs all the way around. The links are perfectly level. Look at the kick on that motor and everything. That is looking. Woo! My goodness. Yeah, flexi boy. We might have to put some straps or something on here because that might be too much. Let me look at how close does that servo come to the gear. I mean, close. It's definitely nestled up in there. We're talking, where can we see it? That's 2-3 millimeters. It's fine. Nobody's banging into anybody. That is good. And now we're sitting at a roller. Did anyone expect it not to be just unthinkably smooth? Let's do it this way. The 313. It's 313. It's dead 313. As it should be. It's links for 313. And then we've got right over here, you saw it a moment ago, how will this sit down on here? Well, oh, okay. Okay. We are going to have to, that's it right there. Not that height, but that spacing. That will get the rear tire right in there. Are we hitting? Okay, there's only one thing that's hitting. We can pop it out. So, I will be fabricating. That will be next time. This is gonna be great. We're gonna figure out what we want to do about a front bumper. And for the front bumper, I'm thinking just a stinger. And I'm running through it in my head. We might be cutting this part off of the chassis, or we might not, because this is what's running through my head. I might have enough room here to use Delrin to just build a flat piece to make a bumper mount. Or, alternately, I might be able to fit like an element bumper mount on there and just shave the top of it a little bit, because this is the default. It has the big radiator guy and it has the two body pin pieces. Now what's in my head is I think I can build a plate that this will pin to, and then that plate has a hole in it, so we will be able to just hinge the body up Phoenix style. Or, hold on, the piece mounts to this. This piece has the bumper mount holes in it. So the bumper is just mounted to this, held in with the pin, and then just pins back. So with that front piece out of the way, and by front piece I mean bumper mount, this guy will sit. Yeah, that radiator is right there. Oh, we can get this thing so low. I really want to use the pin if possible, particularly because if I get the rear wheel well centered, which is right about there, can I go? What's stopping me from going back? Nothing. It's just that front radiator piece. I don't want it sitting way up there, although, do I? Yeah, because the CJ's got those big side pieces right there. We can really... Oh, it's sitting on top, isn't it? Nope, it's still hitting the radiator. We can go a little bit lower than right there, but that's about as low as we can sit. Yeah, the weight of that body absolutely just bottoms all the springs out. But we will have no issues. This will be bereft of angry body noise in its entirety. So, I will cut whatever I need to cut. Oh, and then, I almost forgot, we're going to have to fabricate the rear part too, because the body mounts are part of the body. So easy. Again, a flat piece of Delrin coming off of the back with 2 holes with body posts or pins coming up out of it. Try to get this thing cut in the front. We're probably going to have to cut the chassis, and I'm going to have to cut into the grill / radiator. I hope, I want to be able to reuse the pin. So the body would sit right about there. Then we have this little bit out the front. So that it would be pinned to there and come out. And then it'll just hinge up like that. Come back down. Make the new back piece. I mean, you know, maybe it's still thinking about the Raptor that's making me think it, but like, can I need to find something. Okay, the motor box back there. Do you see what I'm going for? Well, so bumper will be attached here and come through there. Pin will go through a flat piece that's bolted to this. I might just have to make some little notches right there in that grill piece. Look at this thing is going to be ridiculous. So we're going to need stiffer springs front and rear, unquestionably. Body will sit right about there, but a hair lower than that. So we'll be sitting at right about that height. And then, like I say, it's not. Like, we'll have full travel. Then the real fun part will be, what do I build out here off of the sliders to fill that gap and have the body go into it? I didn't want to bother with the actual Jeep side sliders. I might just try to reproduce what they've got on that. Yeah, that's going to be pretty sick. It's going to be pretty sick. Oh, yeah. So, it's not going to be this sort of an affair, this sort of look to the body. Motor box for that. What it is going to be, here is the goal, is, oh, hold on. So as I mentioned, not this type of wheel. I already have the wheel picked out. So these are the wheels for this, with the oil slick and the matching the scalloped beadlock ring. Most likely Tusks. Tusks are my #1 choice. They're in a bag right over there, but 100% not committed to that. Yeah, here's a set. I could have just put Tusks on it, but I mean, a Tusk and a Swole Claw are the same exact height. So Tusks are the likely guy. These are the wheels for sure. I want these wheels on there real bad, because the body, I was going to go grab the body down off the peg, but honestly, it's so buried that I tapped out before I could get it down. The usual deal, usually battery, we usually go over like this. No, we go over like this. No, we go over like this. We'll get there's a Rhino, we got a Rhino V80 going on here. We're going to run it off of a regular 2200 battery. One goes on one side, one goes on the other. I think I usually have the battery over here and the ESC over there. I need to keep everything flat and low to keep it under, because the center console, the body, the Jeep body, when I was looking, you know how Vanquish does a little one where it has little shifter handles? That would actually almost line up on that if you could get it down. I am going to try to get the body down as low as I can, but we're not going to be able to get it very low. No matter what, this is going to be about 3/4 of an inch lower. My goal is for the body to be roughly this color. That kind of pink, fuchsia, halfway to purple. The driver has already been selected. There she is, Zorana of the Dreadnoks. Good old Zorana. So following that Z theme that we've been doing recently, the most recent Zobazu, the most recent Zoku build. So we've got another Zoku in the house, and this one is most likely Zorana. It's unlikely that it's going to get another name, but I'm honestly pretty well chuffed on it so far. Electronics install is boring. We will get this thing will be runnable in the next go, because I can just bolt this back in the front and get this thing rigided up. And maybe we can take just a little soft, like we'll do a little soft wheel to hear it and see it. And then we will go into the full fabrication process of building the front and rear parts, getting the bumper fabricated, getting all that stuff together. Oh, yeah, okay. Might as well. Does anybody have any guesses? I'm going to say right there, 6.5. Zorana is going to be a 9-pound beast, at least. And that is after my tricks that I have in my head for the body. Deleting the doors, doing something about those seats. Oh, maybe more than that. Woo! Angled skid. It's basically 6 dead. It's 606. It's 6.1. It's 6.5 pounds. We'll get to 6.5 pounds, by gum. This is not going to be a lightweight. This is going to be something. Truly something. Oh, well, also, almost certainly, I would be truly surprised if we don't end up with 3D inserts in this. It seems unlikely that it's going to be, the Enjoras are, 70 grams a piece. So, 280 grams. This is a lot. We're close to a pound there. So there are opportunities to shave weight. I'm going to try to add as little weight as possible, because our unsprung should be pretty good, but there's really nothing I can do in total about the body. If I could get the body to around a pound, I would consider that to be an overwhelming success. If we can get this thing RTR under 8, at or under 8, I would also consider that to be a resounding success. But I mean, honestly, let's say we're between 8 and 9 is probably where we're going to end up. It should be. This is going to be something. We say we don't build two of the same thing here, and that is true. This is a Zoku Phoenix, and there are 2 Zoku Phoenicians here, but this Zoku Phoenix ain't going to be nothing like the other Zoku Phoenix. This one is ridiculous. And then maybe we'll have to have a showdown when everything is put together and finalized. Eddie Argentum and Zorana, head-to-head and toe-to-toe. Take them out to hardline, out to deadline or something, and see how that goes. Anyway, thank God for the heater blowing heat on my feet. It has warmed up this building just a little bit. I'm so glad that the camera only shows this and that you can't see what's behind it, because it is a screaming mess. Because as I grab stuff, this goes over here. We've got an hour of cleanup, at least. And, oh God, at least. There's stuff everywhere. And that's good. Put some loud music back on. I wish you a good day. If the rain goes away, we'll get to drive. Driving would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, we love wheeling here. I'm going to be ending up spending a lot of time on my riding lawnmower this year. It is going to be green. So, thanks so much for joining us here in the canyon for Zorana. Look forward to seeing you in whatever we have next. I wish above all that you one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time here from the canyon. Now, I mean, you want to talk about good problems to have. This resided in a box, and now I have to find a place to park it. And just out of frame over here, 6 rigs at the end of the bench. We gotta figure something out, man. We gotta figure something out. All right. I'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for dropping by. Hit me in the comments or what have you.